So where are all the Dapps? That's a question I've been asking because we've been promised these decentralized applications that will cut out the middleman, bring decentralized trust, and of course replace Facebook or whatnot. And the biggest problem is, where the hell are they? Today we're here at Cyberport in Hong Kong to meet up one of my friends who is doing a lot of research and development in the Dapps space to ask him what's going on and what it'll take to bring a decentralized future with Dapps. No, you have to toss it. All right, I'll toss it to you. All right.
Yeah.
We're here with Kyle.
Yeah.
And Kyle, you're pretty big into the Dapps space. You bought the domain dapp.com.
All in.
All in. So let's start with the most basic question first, and then we'll get to the question of where are all the Dapps?
Yeah.
So let's start with the easy one, which is what made you inspired? What inspired you to get into the Dapps space in the first place?
People were tired of having all the big companies collecting all the data, and people don't know what's happening in the back behind the scene, right? So what amazed me was when I started digging into Dapps, I found that when you apply blockchain technology into different space, it adds on great features. For example, creating immutable contents. And then second thing is, if you look at the gaming, right? At the beginning, when everyone look at CryptoKitty, it's just like a digital collectibles. In the old time, right, different gaming companies were working separately each other. They're competing with each other. But with the blockchains, it gives the opportunity for them to actually collaborating with each other to build on top to a big universe.
And that's what you see is happening. It's not just a competitive space, but you can turn the whole world into a more collaborative space.
Yeah, you look at all the blockchain game company, they don't fight with each other, right? They find a way to collapse. You see like CryptoKitties are like flirting with Gods Unchained, and this is like the universe are connected. I think this is amazing. It will change the way that how games are being produced. And transparency. Transparency is very important. There's so many news about like, hey, like today we go to an e-commerce site. You and me watching at the same product. It shows different price. Basically, the e-commerce company collecting all the data, all the user behaviors and all that. And then it turned into a decision that you are apparently a rich guy. And
thank you. I think I'm the poor guy here.
And then, but the data says so, right? But with the blockchains, like Dapps allows you to know exactly what happens, right? What is the logic behind, right? What's the back end running? Because it's open source, it's on the blockchain.
Okay, now time for the hard questions. We've been promised a lot from Dapps. All right, so you said so many advantages with transparency, with immutability. But where are the Dapps?
I think because of the way Dapps interact with users were so different. If I measure the amount of users of, I'll give an example. Like a lot of games that were built on Ethereum, but they struggle a lot from the gas fees and all that. So they decided to put the battle system, the actions within the game off chain, right? So those are not recorded on the blockchain as well, right? So now we're describing how many active users had interacted with the blockchain, right? So if we look at the number, right, we did a report until first quarter of 2019, we have around 2 million unique users on Ethereum. But comparatively, we have 60 million accounts set up on Ethereum. So if we look at Ethereum, that's like 2%.
Right.
So 2% of Ethereum users accounts use Dapps.
Right. Very, very small amount.
Yeah. Very small amount.
Guys, we'll have a poll on the bottom, but guys, answer the question. Do you actively use Dapps? We want to see and do a poll. Do you trade or do you leave your Ethereum on exchanges or do you actively use Dapps? And if you do, tell me which Dapps you actually use because I would love to know. Okay.
So on Ethereum, decentralized exchanges had the most amount of users among other Dapps. And then there were gamblings and Ponzi's and all that.
So, but none of these are Facebook level, right? Because
there's no Facebook level.
Yeah, we're talking about, very still, you're seeing a little bit better because obviously I've seen a lot of daily active users and I see them in the thousands. And back in the day, if you made a video game and you had 1,000 daily active users, publishers would just laugh at you. They'd be like, just get out. So is there a problem for us to get to the million of daily active users?
a few problems had been addressed over the past year. One is people talk about the most is the scalability issue, right? I mean, because there are more people building blockchain than people building dApps.
Right.
Whenever you build a blockchain, you issue about scalability.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I'm here to solve the scalability issue.
Yeah.
Right? Layer 2.
It's like
whatever.
we're all building roads, but no one's building any houses, right?
Yeah,
no
yeah.
one's building any shops, no one's building any houses. We're
Yeah.
just like roads.
Yeah, so mine is like highway and
yours
yours, So that's one issue that people address. Another one is the content issue is like meaning to say that the project, the dApps, like the house that you mentioned, right? Hey, no one's building the house, right? No one is building the real content. Like no legit team was working on that, right? This is a second issue. The third issue is like no one cares about dApps. dApps had, like people is getting against dApps because people talking about dApps equals to gambling. I feel like the problem is not like scalability. The problem is not the content itself. The problem is the user experience, which is hurting the whole dApp industry right now. I give a few examples: gas fee, private keys, and all that. Like a lot of people, they just don't figure out how to get it. I'll give you an example. We had established a partnership with one of the biggest wallets in Korea. They were like ARM token, or maybe like a trust wallet in Korea. They are the biggest already, but they have like a very, very tiny amount of users. The thing is, everyone put their assets in exchange. Right, because they don't like if I put it in the exchange, I don't need to like take care of my password. That's it. Right. I don't need to take care of what about I forgot one of my seed phrases and all that. Right.
So they still trust exchanges. They're still at the early stage of learning about crypto, which they trust the exchange more than themselves.
Yeah. So the fact is, I don't hear about trust or what. Like my goal is to trade, then I'll go to exchange. My goal is to enjoy like a blockchain game. Then you make it easy for me.
Yeah.
Like all that, like back in the days in early of 2018 when we were testing out the dApps, right? At that time, like Ether prices was quite good, right? So we playing like this like rock paper scissors game or whatever. So we play and then we waited, and then we went out for lunch. We came back, it's still waiting pending for the result. So I think user experience, like that's something that preventing dApps to get better.
Right. You know, we're pretty tired. Let's get some McDonald's.
Yeah. Let's go get some McDonald's. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So like, do you think crypto is gonna die in China?
No, man. Like the whole thing is back. Like no one is actually stopping it. Like I mean I think now is a better time than 2018.
Right.
It's all back, right?
So it's all back.
Yeah, it's all back.
All the speculation, all the good and the bad, everything's back.
Yeah.
So how do people buy coins in China?
So there's fiat to crypto, crypto to crypto, right?
Yeah.
Fiat to crypto, they do OTC.
Right.
Right, and then crypto to crypto, they just like everyone has VPNs and all that.
Right. So the system is still okay, even though the government cut down on the fiat on ramps.
Yeah.
People still can buy stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you were saying that the pyramid schemes are all back.
They're always here, but it's just like when the market was not fully recovered, they're just like hiding.
Right.
Like maybe like people just don't bother like talking about that.
It's got some McDonald's cheese teas. Ooh. And some like what is it? Chocolate pie. Right, cheers. No homo. So we have these problems with all these dApps. You identify a lot of these problems.
Yeah.
What do you intend to do about it?
Yeah. So that's the whole idea of building Dapps.com, right? So we want to build these platforms that allow everyone to discover and use dApps in the easiest way. Just like imagine like an app store for decentralized apps, right? You only need one set of accounts, and then you can dive into different blockchains, and then use dApps instantly.
Your vision here is that it's not just dApps on one particular platform, but it's on multiple platforms here.
Yeah, it's on multiple.
So how do you get the same account on multiple platforms? How do you even solve that problem first?
Okay, so we did it we figured that there's two ways to do it. One is a centralized way, another one is a decentralized way.
Right.
So we were gonna start with the centralized way.
Okay.
Just like when you go to Binance and trade tokens, right? They don't ask you to open up an Ethereum account. They don't ask you to either EOS account, right? Like, so you only have one account. You have integrated with all different blockchains, right? So once you log into it, there you go. You only need to transfer a token inside, right? And then we already had integrated with different dApps.
Right.
So like we also make the developers easy to do it. They only need to change one line of code in their existing product to make it compatible with the Dapps.com Dapps Store wallet. I'll give you an example of EOS. Right. I'm not sure how many people have a scatter account, right? But EOS has a less than 1 million mainnet user account. Right. So if you go to YouTube, search for how do I get a EOS account, you probably find like the better way is to do it is like a 26 minutes video. I'm telling you how to get one scatter.
Start creating. Go to this GitHub, create a GitHub account. Stay unconnected GitHub account. So how do you solve that problem?
Basically, what we do is we have this master account running by Dapps.com. So we do like the this is a hosting account. So everyone comes in, they either like gonna spend a little bit amount of their Dapps tokens, or maybe they transfer one EOS in, then we set up everything for them. It only takes 5 seconds.
So you're solving two problems here. You're solving one is the onboarding onto various platforms. So for example, with EOS, the onboarding process was the biggest kind of step to getting into the EOS system. Then you're like, okay, we'll solve that for you so long as you send us either one EOS or one Dapps token.
The EOS token is not for like a service fee, but it's basically for your resources, RAMs and all that.
Or whatever. And then you're also making this multi-blockchain as well. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to say, okay, we might not have enough of a community within just EOS. You want to leverage every single other community like Ethereum, Neo, whatever, onwards. All of them, you can use Dapps.com, and then you can just sort out the currency with them. I guess one of the biggest problems, biggest advantage and a disadvantage of the Apple Store is that they create a list. They are curators, right? They have they sort out content so you know what's good. How would you do that on this platform? Okay,
this is a good thing and bad thing about like centralization versus decentralization, right? If we build a Dapps, we don't need to publish it anywhere, right? We just pay a little bit of gas fee and then we publish on the network, right? There's no distribution costs and all that. Like you don't need to beg Apple to get you listed, right? But at the same time, right, Apple do their job, right? Like you said, right? They filter the content, right? That's what we've been doing as well. Like in Dapps.com, we filter like we censor a lot of information. When people submit Dapps to list on Dapps.com, we actually like look into the contents. We will also like review on the UI and if there's bugs and all that. We usually don't list them, so it takes a long time for us to actually review Dapps. There's actually one Dapps that were listed on our site that has daily active users of around like 20,000 or something. It's called Hash Baby.
Hash Baby.
Yeah.
What do you do at Hash Baby?
So it's like a porn site on EOS, but we don't list them because it's like too sensitive. Right. So that's what we do, right? This is only for listing on Dapps.com, but for integrating with our wallet solutions, we will definitely like look into more matrix, right? Because we actually have to deal with the developers and all that. Even though it is only a small amount of work for us, but in the first stage, we definitely want to like go with the developer team that is legit, maybe backed by big name VCs. And then a lot of them that were gonna launch on Dapps.com, we actually met with their team.
So you do a little bit of filtering, you make sure the user experience is good, and then once you're integrated, you can have like different cross-chain performance Dapps that you can use basically. Okay.
And also one more thing to make sure that the Dapps is legit is we ask them to stake our tokens to be able to use our service. It's like when a project lists on Binance, or maybe they go for a launchpad service on Binance, they have to stake the tokens. Right. It's like a security deposit there. Right.
Okay. So basically, you're making one central location. Would you start with browser first or mobile first?
Browser.
Browser first.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Browser is easier for browser to get like a million of users than getting on mobile on a desktop. Right. User acquisition cost is way lower.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're using the browser, they're using this. Do you have a separate plugin? So, okay, let's say I'm an EOS user and I want to go on Dapps.com.
Yeah.
Okay, do I have to, like, let's say I assume I already have Scatter.
Yeah.
Do I need to install separate plugin or something separate for this?
So there are two ways for these users, right? If they already have the scatter, they can discover the Dapps and then they go into the Dapps website to play the game with their scatter.
Right.
You have no issue with that, right? Because you figured it out, you made it. That's right. I'm so proud of you.
Right.
But for other users, right, you don't need to take care of scatter, right? You just register a Dapps.com account. That's it. That's pretty much of it, right? And then we host a Dapps on our site, right? So you actually, it don't direct you to their site. It opens up under the Dapps.com domain.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the two ways. So if you're ready past the hurdle, you're into EOS. Fine. If you're not, then you're out.
Yeah.
So what blockchain are you starting with first?
Definitely EOS. I feel the pain there. So we also like looking into like other blockchain, right? For example, Ethereum, we definitely need to support it. Tron, we should support it as well. Yeah.
So now, what sort of game do you think is going to be the first one to get to 1 million users?
Damn, this is a tough question. Is gambling considered game?
Yes, including gambling games.
Including gambling games. I think gambling is easier.
Yeah?
Is it easier?
The gambling ones are easier.
Yeah, gambling ones are easier. I just feel like because like the cost of promotions of gambling games, especially when they adopt this like dividend sharings and all that. So when you have a lot of incentives for the people to help you to expand, that's easy.
Right.
I think building Dapps right now, or maybe any blockchain project, we talk like the one thing we talk about the most of the time, hype.
Right, the referral, hype. Okay,
yeah.
So you get that referral system and you think that gambling is one of the ones.
Yeah.
Do you think the Chinese will love it? Because I've been hearing a lot that Chinese, they love online gambling. You know, like that's, I heard, I don't know, I was talking to someone that's like the whole of Thailand or something was offering licenses for gambling. Do you think that's going to take off in China?
I think it's going to take off in everywhere.
Yeah.
It's if you look at the online gambling industry, that's huge and that's everywhere, right? There are a lot of regulations in different countries, but people anyway they're gonna have a way to get away from that, right? So I think gambling is easier because it's just so simple, right? If you build a games, right now we have connections with a lot of games, good developers, like legit teams. We have to tune that people's mindset of this is not just a blockchain game, this is an actual game, right? The reason why people talk about Dapps right now is because it gives you a tag that help people to identify you. It's like when 2 years ago when everyone was doing like building a product, I would say it's powered by AI, cloud computing,
it's a big tag.
Big data.
AI is a tag. AI is a big scam tag, right?
Yeah. It's all that. So Dapps right now is a tag. It helps people to identify you. Like you get your users. People would come to you when you say it. Right. But in the longer term, people just don't feel it, right? It's just app, but it has some elements of decentralizations, but it give you all the advantages of decentralization. Right.
So you feel like in the future we won't really know we're using a Dapps, but it's just there, but it'll have some of the core elements that are really important. For example, the way for different companies to work together. Different decentralized trusts. You feel like those are advantages, but we won't classify it separately as a Dapps in the future.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that's a really great vision forward, Kyle. So I really hope you got really successful on Dapps.com. And
thank you.
You can actually build this, and hopefully we can test it out.
Sure.
And if you guys are interested, read up research reports. You guys publish research reports on Dapps and how it goes. Check those out.
Thank you.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.